I'll be calling you a radical. I started painting this when Tsar Putin invaded Ukraine in 2014. You do know the resistance always comes from Ukraine, always has come from Ukraine. Stalin, Lenin, not Stalin, he was the devil went down to Georgia. Lenin, Trotsky, the resistance has always been there. Russia, this is not a war, this is a mass murder. And the United States media and their bootlickers. They're bootlickers. Who's their bootlickers? The United States media. They refused. Nobody went after Putin harder than Kevin Blanch. And what have I gotten for it? Attacked by Joseph Google? Nobody. How did they do it? Won it by Jetstream. When they killed Anna on October 7th, 2006, she's from Brooklyn, New York. I knew her. You know, the anonymous days, what we did, the Million Mass March, they ignored it. We went after Putin, Tsar Putin, harder than the United States media, the bootlickers. They're the ones to blame. They're the ones to blame. The United States bootlicker media. You know, what about Mikeal Lesin on Remember the 5th of November, killed the DuPont Circle in D.C.? Kevin Blanch told you even before it happened. You know, what about Kevin Blanch, what they've done to me? Kick me off Medicaid when I'm a bone marrow transplant, clinging to life. You don't think that's attempted murder? It's unbelievable. So another journalist murdered in cold blood, had his press uniform on, the whole thing, just Russian shoulder, just executed him. Jeff Bezos' paper still reporting 1,000 civilians dead. Oh my God, this is not a war. This is not a war. This is not a war. This is a massacre. And I'll put it up where I have. At least it's recorded in history. We get 3 views because that's what they've done. Their answer has been to. What about her, Megan Rice? Did they talk about that? What about Michael Hastings? What about Aaron Swartz? What about him? What about those guys? What is the United States media? Is all this to blame? Every bit of it. The YouTube vloggers and bloggers. Joseph Google. They're the ones to blame. This is not a war. This is a massacre. This is a massacre. She's from Ukraine. Blood on the Snow 2.0. What about Diablo? What about Fukushima? What they've done to Kevin Blanch. So, another one has been murdered. Another journalist. The United States media refused on October 7th, 2006. She's from Brooklyn, New York. Putin murdered her in cold blood. This has been going over and over right in DuPont. Right here in the United States. The United States media is protected imperialism. Just because they don't call themselves kings and lords, Bezos and Gates and crew. There's a price to pay for covering up things. Fukushima. Stop this at 311. They never mentioned her name. Nobody's gone after Putin harder than Kevin Blanch. Nobody. I told this tale in detail. She's from Ukraine. Her and I. Where'd you sleep last night? Don't you lie to me.